HCTV Sports is supported by the Spool House. From prom to weddings, let us suit your formal wear needs.
Making the play. He gets the pin. Raiders are clawing their way back in this game.
Just snipes one.
It's ball game. Over. Save. Oh my God! Did you see that? Great diving play. He's hit a touchdown. Hastings Raiders win the ball game.
Hello everyone and welcome to Hastings High School as we get set for a girls basketball matchup here between the Tartan Titans and the Hastings Raiders. The Titans come into this one with a 9-6 record, the Raiders with a 7-7 record. Happy to be with you here. I'm Owen Ely on the broadcast as we are just moments away from tip-off here in Hastings as we get to the starting lineups here for both teams. Two good teams looking to close out this season strong. The Raiders on a 3-game winning streak as we see starter Violet Schultz, one of the captains, one of the senior captains for this Raiders team. This visiting Tartan Titans team on a 2-game winning streak, coming off of a 3-game losing streak before that in 2025. So they're red hot here in 2026. Brooke Mace, another senior captain, getting the start. It's Mia Hernandez getting the start for Tartan. Maya Bauer, only a sophomore. Very young team for Hastings, graduated a lot of players last year, so plenty of new faces on this team. Plenty of familiar faces, but maybe thrust into bigger roles this season, so maybe a bit of an adjustment period for this team. Piper Brockman, a familiar face, yet another senior, and a captain, one of the taller players on the team, nearly a 6-footer. Kaylee Geeson, another senior captain for this Raiders team. So a young team, but when it comes to the starters, very senior laden. There's Michael Morris, head coach for the Tartan Titans, looking to pick up a win here on the road, extend this winning streak here in 2026. And there's Rick Tavernier, the head coach for the Hastings Raiders. Again, looking to continue this winning streak. Tartan coming off of a dominating victory at home versus Simley, a 61-26 victory on the 14th. And with that, we're underway here from Hastings High School. Tip-off won here by the Raiders. There's Brockman looking to pass. Pass down low in the post. And a missed shot here for Hastings. Rebound taken here for Tartan. Oyasanmi passing it out for Gorgian. On the far side, short corner, and we will get a whistle. Looks like a player might have stepped out of bounds there for Tartan. Now Geeson with the inbound here for Hastings. Pass to the top of the key for Bauer. Struggles holding onto the ball here, resets. A lot of movement here for this Hastings offense, maybe a little too much as we get the ball taken away here by the Titans, trying to go coast to coast. And a turnover here off of the arm of Funchess. So still a scoreless game here over a minute into this one, a couple of possessions for each team. Obviously, we saw a stifling defense for Tartan in that game against Simley, only allowed 26 points. Now again, seeing some motion here, very patient offense for Hastings. Driving in along the lane, a pickpocket, and taken back the other way, stolen by Oyasanmi. And we will get a whistle and a foul against Hastings. We'll take a look at the replay here. There you see Brockman losing it down the lane, and they call a foul there against Brooke Mace. Now Oyasanmi looking to spin, kicks it out, driving in, passing the short corner, and out of bounds. Tartan will retain possession. Funchess on the inbound, tipped away, back to Funchess, kept in the field of play. Driving in from the wing, a little jumper goes for Mia Hernandez, and she'll get the scoring started here in this one, over 2 minutes into this game. We'll see what response can be conjured up here by Hastings. A heat check three by Violet Schult, and that's the first points on the board here for Hastings as they take the lead. Now Funchess in front of the scorer's table. Kicks it into the corner. Three-point response, air ball, offensive rebound. Another air ball, another offensive rebound, and we'll finally get a stop. They're going to call a foul likely against Hastings. We'll take a look at that three-point shot here from Violet Schult. Right on the mark. We'll take a look at the foul after this first shot here from Oyasanmi. And she sinks it. And here's a look at the last foul they called here against Hastings. There you see the offensive rebound. And it looks like they would call that one on Brockman. Might have been able to call one earlier on Mace. Now Tartan retaking the lead after a pair of free throws. Bauer pass to the far side, three-point shot from the wing. Scramble in the restricted zone, and it's going to go the way of the Titans. We'll have a couple of subs here for Hastings. Jill McTagg into the game. And Ashcraft into the game. Some stifling defense here from Hastings, forces a bad shot off of the side of the backboard. Now the Raiders coming back with some speed. Another three-point shot from that familiar spot. Not going to go the way of the Raiders on this one. Three-point shot, three-point make for Edisiri Oyasanmi. The freshman putting in the work here for Tartan on the road early. Early two-possession lead here for Tartan, and we will get a foul. That's going to be the first foul on the Titans here tonight. Here's that last three-point shot from Oyasanmi. Seen some pretty good three-point shooting here in the early goings. First free throw successful there for Maya Bauer. Now here's a look at the foul called against Tartan. And maybe a little too much contact there from the freshman. And a pair of successful free throws there for Hastings. Driving in, short corner blocked by Maya Bauer. Now Hastings with some tempo, thought about a three-point shot there, threads the needle on a pass, and we will get a whistle. Foul upcoming here against Tartan. And here's that last sequence. Brockman with the nice pass. And a little too much contact there for Tartan. So once again, Hastings back to the line. 3 for 3 on free throws here. And Jillian McTagg misses that last one, keeps the score here at 6-7. And a two-pointer gives the Raiders the lead. Piper Brockman, the senior captain, with that two-pointer. The Titans looking to respond, driving right down the middle. A free throw there from just in front of the restricted circle, and we will get a whistle here. We'll take a look at that last sequence here. Nearly successful on what would have been quite a beautiful runner there. So now Tartan back with the lead, and they'll extend it. And we'll have Violet Schultz checking into the game here for Hastings. Got another one of the senior captains who got the start here tonight. Long three-point shot, just rims out, an offensive rebound, and the putback there for Jillian McTagg. Player who's had some pretty big shoes to fill here this season. Saw a fair amount of minutes last year as well. Sort of an underhanded shot there, falls in for Nagu. And a two-point response ties it up here for Hastings. And we will get a whistle. Timeout here with 12.5 to go here in the first half. We'll take another look at that last sequence here for Hastings. A unsuccessful three-point shot, but the great offensive rebound and quick shot attempt there for McTagg. And we'd like to thank the Spool House for sponsoring this broadcast. From prom to weddings, let us suit your formal wear needs. More information can be found at thespoolhouse.com. Well, this game's sort of what we thought it would be in the early goings here. Two evenly matched up teams and a 12-12 equation here. A lot to like from both teams to start out here. Certainly some things to fix. A healthy amount of fouls early on in this one, so we'll see if that plays into anything here as we round out the first half. Coming back out of the timeout here, Tartan ball. Pass into the short corner, out to the wing, driving in, has some space, runs into Brockman, and a turnover here for Tartan. Pass along the near side, plenty of speed, shooting in stride. Didn't get enough height on that one for McTagg. Funches defended by Schultz. A hard cross-court pass, driving in, and a little running jumper there, doesn't fall for Tartan. Brockman hands it off to a teammate, back to Brockman. Trying to work her way Down low, a pivot, nearly stripped away. Now driving in between the lane, kicked off of a player's foot, and they're going to say it's going to stay with Hastings. With the inbound from the baseline, a short little pass. Offensive rebound, nearly another offensive rebound there for McTagg, and finally a defensive rebound will settle it down for Tartan. Stolen away. Hastings pulling up, looking to pass. McTagg tries to thread the needle, kept in the field of play, and a quick two-pointer there for Brockman. Turnover into points for Hastings, and they'll take the lead here, 14-12. Screen set for Funchess. Little pick and roll there, and we'll get a whistle. Here's the last bucket here for Hastings. Sort of a great defensive save there by a Tartan player, but Brockman was just in the right spot at the right time. And here's that last sequence that resulted in the fourth foul of the game for Hastings. That one going against Jillian McTagg. And Annabelle sinks 2 free throws, ties this one up at 14 apiece. Geeson with a short pass to Wagner. Some rotation, Schultz kicks in, fires up a 3. Doesn't fall for Hastings. Long 3-point, good for Tartan. Again, a patient approach here from Hastings on offense, and a turnover. I'm going to say that was off of McTagg. Here's that last 3-point make from Oyasanmi. Seeing a full court press here from Hastings. Love to see that at the high school and college level. Works with surprising efficiency, as we'll get yet another whistle. They'll give that one to Geeson. So another foul here for Hastings as they're closing in on entering the bonus. See if Hastings can sort of stop the bleeding here. They're not down by a lot, obviously, but a little cold spell here for the Raiders, as they'll turn that one over underneath the basket. Funchess works into the elbow, nearly swiped away there by a Raider. Some space, a 3-pointer fired off of the back iron, and a mop-up job there from Oyasanmi. Really having a tremendous performance here in the first half. Mace forced to pass out. The Raiders fighting to hold on to the ball here. We got bodies strewn all over the floor. Hastings eventually holds on to it, some contact. And it takes a good bounce for Hastings. A lot of effort there for that two-pointer. Much needed for Hastings. Funchess driving in, kicks it out. Kind of circle around at the wing, now driving in from the top of the key, kicks it out. Wide open three-point shot, a defensive rebound taken by Lauren Wagner. Brockman surveying. Sends it over to Mace. And throws a interception there to the Titans. Oyasanmi, another long three-point make. Awful hard to defend that. I believe that's her third three-point make of this first half. She extends the lead here for Tartan. Have some space, driving in, get a premature whistle. And here's a look at that last three-pointer from the freshman for Tartan. So that's going to be the third foul here on the Titans. Their first in a handful of minutes. At least two of these Tartan fouls have been against McTagg, so she's doing a good job here tonight of drawing the whistle. And 0 for 2 at the line there for McTagg. Hernandez passes over, will get a whistle. Couldn't quite see what that one was. And we will get Schultz checking into the game for Hastings. Tremendous three-point shooter for Hastings. Might need her to make a couple now that she's back on the court like she did earlier. Raiders are driving in, passing out to the high wing. A lot of motion. That one's going to be tipped and ultimately recovered by Hernandez. Now Hernandez one-on-one. Sends a long pass over for Love. Three-point shot and a three-point make. The Titans really dialing in their three-point ability here as this first half progresses. Raiders attempt the three-point response, no good. Now Love back in that wing, sends it over to a teammate. Hernandez, cheeky pass, creates some space, and they'll send that one off over into the bench. We'll take a look at that last three-point shot from Love. Nothing but net there for the Tartan junior. Lead slowly creeping nearly to double digits here. Another missed three-pointer for Hastings. Long three-point shot from Oyasanmi. And we will get a whistle. Timeout called by Rick Tavernier and the Hastings Raiders. Well, we'll take a look at the Metro East Conference. There you can see two very evenly matched teams, and that's what we saw for the majority of tonight. Tartan coming in with a conference record of 4-2, Hastings 2-3. Right in the middle of the pack there in the ever-familiar Metro East. Sort of a mixed bag in that conference. You can see a handful of teams at the bottom, handful of teams at the middle, and it's Hill Murray up top. So we'll see what kind of adjustments Hastings can make here. Normally they're tremendous, the boys and girls team, at making adjustments coming out of timeouts. They certainly will need it here if they want to make this lead a little smaller as we're quickly approaching halftime here. It's a hot team, 3-game winning streak. They played on Tuesday, 63-40 win in this very gymnasium over Apple Valley. They had a stifling couple of victories. One against North St. Paul as we get a turnover here for Hastings, 60-21, and before that on the road, a 55-19 drubbing of Simley. Three-pointer, a little too short here for Tartan. They're just trying to explode this game open. Certainly found something that's working for them here tonight. Long pass, a quick jumper on a turnaround. Couldn't fall for Schult. Some orders barked out here by Michael Morris, really seeing something out on the court there for Funchess. Hernandez, a pass over to Love, driving in, poked away by a handful of Raiders. Now they're going to have numbers coming down the court. A layup a little too short, denied off the backboard. Now a pass, Funchess defended by Ashcraft. Couple of moves, ball works its way into the corner, missed three-point shot. Failed rebound attempt there for Annabelle. And now the Raiders thinking about jacking up a three here. A nice pass down low near the baseline, and we will get a whistle against the Tartan Titans. Here's the last sequence for Hastings. Little push from behind as the fouls are slowly evening out as this game progresses. Quick shot off of the inbound. Yet another miss here for Hastings as they've unfortunately gone ice cold here on their last handful of attempts, but they will retain possession. So we'll get another inbound for Hastings. Connecting on the inbound pass. Leaves it over for McTagg. Now up top, driving in, and another whistle as Schult was looking to drive in towards the basket. And they're going to call that foul against Funchess, so we're tied up here with fouls. The Raiders were leading for a good majority of this, and now Tartan over the last handful of minutes starting to rack up the fouls, and we'll see if the Raiders can't get some points on the board here. And Schult sinks the final one. Now a little spinorama jumper from the elbow and a two-point response there from Tartan. At the wing, Ashcraft looking to pass, driving in between the lane, and tipped. Maybe tipped a little too much there as we get another foul called here against the road team. There you can see the drive in from Ashcraft, and they're going to call that one, I believe, against number 34 here for Tartan. So it's Wagner, the freshman, at the line. Made her first one and makes her second one. That one a little less straightforward, but still counts all the same. So now the Raiders, with under 4 minutes to go here in the first half, slowly creeping back into this one. Basketball is certainly a game of momentum. We'll get a heat check three-point attempt there from Oyasanmi. Doesn't fall. Would have brought the lead back to double digits. Now Brockman. She was looking to pass. She'll kick it out. Geeson driving along the out of bounds line. Funchess with the pass wide open, closed in by a Raiders defender, and a defensive rebound taken there by McTagg. Geeson thought about driving in, thought about shooting that three-point shot. Oyasanmi sort of closed in on her there. Now Schultz turning around, catches her own rebound, sends it out to McTagg. Pump fake, driving in, and that one just takes an unfortunate bounce. Game of inches there. The Raiders nearly got a bucket there twice. Now looping in a pass into the corner, driving in, a one-handed shot, no good. Schultz to Geeson, now to McTagg. Not a lot of movement here from this Raiders offense. Sort of a 1-on-3, somehow manages to get that offensive rebound. And the call, a tie-up there that's going to stay here with Hastings. We have a couple of players checking in here for Tartan, including Clinton. Inside the free throw line, pumps up a shot. A whistle, and it's going to be a turnover here for Hastings. Here's that last sequence. You can see some of the contact. That was a sixth foul for the Titans. Now under 2 minutes to go. Funchess with speed, spins, pumps up a shot, and just a great offensive possession there for Angelina Funchess, the senior. A screen set for Mace. Off to McTagg, and some contact. McTagg hitting the ground. And here's that last bucket from Funchess. There you can see just the complete package right there. The drive in, the spin, and the two-pointer. And then here's the foul here on the Titans. The Raiders player, I think that was Brockman there, just got sort of pinballing in between a couple of Titans big men. Another missed free throw here for Hastings. That's certainly going to be something they're going to have to talk about at halftime, leaving a lot of points on the board, unfortunately. Now Funchess kicks it out, far side, and a pickpocket from behind from Piper Brockman. It's going to stay here with the Titans, but we'll take a look at that last defensive stand here for Hastings. And there you can see just using those long arms to sort of go around. Uncontested three-point shot off of the back iron there. 60 seconds to go before halftime. We'll see if the Raiders can't make this equation a little more favorable, but they turn it over to Annabelle, who hands it off to a teammate. Underhanded layup for Angelina Funchess, who is on fire the last couple of minutes. Biggest lead of the game so far for the Titans, now at 11. Three-point shot, air ball, but a nice offensive rebound. Great teamwork there, just making sure the Raiders get some points. Now shot clock and game clock are the same, so this could be the last possession of the first half if the Titans want it that way, but they're going to turn the ball over. 10 seconds to go, a wide open shot, and a nice underhanded layup. Goes in for Kaylee Geeson, a three-point shot. Nearly makes it in. Boy, that would have been something. And at halftime here, it's a 31-24 lead for the Raiders over the Titans. It's been a great one here so far. Both of these teams coming in on moderate winning streaks, and this game was 12-12 at one point, but it's 31-24. We'll head to halftime here from Hastings.
United Heroes League mainly uses sports as a bridge to help military families stay active and engaged in their communities. We have over 40 professional teams that partner with us for free tickets and camps. We provide access to free sporting equipment.
UHL has provided us with a lot of equipment and a lot of gear that is otherwise sometimes hard to attain.
It's really cool. I get all this free stuff, and it's because of my great dad, who is a veteran.
UHL has been a great supporter, not just for our family, but for all the military families.
We're excited to see what the future holds. We can't wait to see where it goes.
He gets the pin. What a move, what a goal! Oh, and a shot scores! The Raiders, can they get the lift? Yes, they do.
Just snipes one.
Oh my God! And reaching up and making the play. It's moving over.
Looking to throw, and she's going to get the first down.
One touchdown Raiders!
But here is the difference for the class of 1990.
We went from Mile High Eagles to Alan Peck.
I know you're all excited about Y2K. You could lose power or party like it's 1999.
Hastings High School has been graduating seniors. This is the first commencement
Congratulations, class of 2023. Go Raiders!
Funding for community TV is in rapid decline, and HCTV will not survive without your help. Let your local representatives know that you support community TV. To learn more, visit savecommunitytv.com.
Today, 4 Minnesotans lost their lives from fentanyl poisoning.
And 4 more will tomorrow.
Fentanyl is the #1 killer of 18 to 45-year-olds.
It's killing more and more 12 to 17-year-olds. They're people we care about.
Like my brother.
My sister.
My best friend.
We have the power to make a difference in our community. Join us in the fight against the fentanyl crisis.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Hastings High School as we get set for the second half of this game between the Tartan Titans and the Hastings Raiders. I'm Owen Ely here on the broadcast. At halftime, it was a 31-24 lead for the visiting Tartan Titans here over the Raiders. Plenty of adjustments to be made here on both sides. Both of these teams, like we said at the top of the broadcast, coming into this on winning streaks. Hastings of the three-game variety. Tartan has knocked down their last two. They're looking lights out here in the first half, but the Raiders battling back at moments. We'll see how they can try to stop this onslaught of a three-point attack here from the Titans. Both teams committed a handful of fouls there in the first half early on, but neither team eventually got into foul trouble as we're underway here in the second half. The Raiders with some fervor, and they'll get the scoring started here with Maya Bauer. 16.7 points per game on the season for that sophomore. Certainly one of the bigger movers for this Raiders offense, this Raiders team in general. Missed shot, a defensive rebound taken there from Bauer. Now Mace pulls it up the court, stops at the wing. Just a 5-point lead as this one's going to be tipped out of bounds. And it's going to stay with Hastings. Here's that last sequence, that last bucket rather. Now we'll get the inbound, a turnover directly off the inbound. Raiders racing back to get on defense. Tipped in the air, still recovered by Oyasanmi. This is a shot, gets the offensive rebound. And a scramble for the ball, a hard collision between a couple of players. Looks like, thankfully, nobody's the worse for wear on that one. A lot of offensive rebounds there for Tartan, and then you see the collision there between a couple of players, but everybody's going to stay on the court, and it's amazing what you can do when you're young. So now the Raiders back here, a looping pass down low, and another short-range bucket here for Hastings by way of Maya Bauer, who's starting to get on fire here at the beginning of the second half. Now the Raiders make this a one-possession game. Down low into the short corner, spin, little turnaround jumper out of bounds. That's going to be, well, they're going to say it's off of the Raiders. Not so sure about that. We'll take a look at that last bucket here. And just a great shot, but even a better pass for Hastings. And there might be a player injured off of that last sequence. We'll take a look here, and that was Funchess, who maybe was reaching down for her ankle there. She'll head over to the bench. So that's certainly something to watch out for. One of the better players, 10.6 points per game, and really had a tremendous first half, did Funchess. Particularly offensively with a couple of those drives and some difficult angle shots. Really her and Oyasanmi getting it done for Tartan as this one rolls out of bounds in front of the fans on the far side. We'll get the inbound, and there's Funchess being attended to by a trainer, and she did walk off under her own power, so hopefully it's not too bad. Tartan will have to continue on here, looking to get something going offensively, and we'll get a shot clock violation. Can't forget about the shot clock. I know for many, many years the Raiders did not have a shot clock, but they do have one as of recent, and they're definitely trying to standardize that across the state. So I've heard the horror stories of when teams didn't have shot clocks, so gotta be mindful of that these days. But either way, the Raiders turn it over, an open three-point shot, and a make right in front of the bench. for Isabel Dismore. First time we've called the sophomore's name here tonight. Extends the lead. Another long pass down low, short corner. And a turnover forced by Love and a teammate. At the wing, stolen. Breakaway layup. Another successful layup for Bauer. You know, people say it's a layup as if it's easy, but, you know, at the high school level especially, when you're running out of space, we've seen plenty of misses on layups. So she's on fire with the layups as we'll get another defensive stand here for Hastings. Lead back to only 4 for the visitors. Geeson tipped out of bounds, going to stay with Hastings off of the hands of Annabelle. And here's that steal and subsequent layup for Maya Bauer, who must have at least 6 points here in the first handful of minutes of the second half. Really probably the biggest adjustment for Hastings is how she's playing. Coming out of the break, a 2-point response there for Piper Brockman. Averaging 10 points, just a little over 10 points on the season. Titans looking to hold on to this lead. Dismore sends it off for a teammate. Far side, Love. That might have been tipped either way, not going to fall in. And now the Raiders with the chance to tie it or take the lead. If they can score here. Little pump fake for Geeson. And a little too much contact. That's going to send the Raiders to the line. We'll take a look at the foul here against Tartan. That's going to go against Dismore. 2 fouls for Tartan to start the second half. The Raiders, knock on wood, but no fouls here in the second half. I think they might have racked up 3 in the first couple of minutes of this game. 3-point shot, and the Raiders take the lead. Violet Schultz with the 3-point shot. First time in quite some time they've had the lead. A 3-point response bobbles out here for the Titans. And now the Raiders on the prowl. Some movement on the far side here for Hastings. Another pass in the low paint. Offensive rebound, trying to spin free of that one. They'll call a tie-up as Brockman had possession. Here's that 3-point shot to take the lead from the senior captain, Violet Schultz. So Love will check out here for the Titans. Hastings to inbound. In the short corner, puts up a shot. Offensive rebound right over the back. And puts that one in. Just a great sequence there from Piper Brockman. Now Tartan sort of on the ropes here, going cold. Another turnover. The Raiders trying to push the tempo. Pumps up the shot. A defensive rebound settles it. We will get an immediate whistle. It's going to go against Hastings. Here's that last bucket for the Raiders. Excuse me, that's the foul against Hastings. So that'll be the first one of the second half for them. The long pass nearly doesn't connect. Has some space, fires the 3. That one went over the top of the backboard there. Should have been a whistle, but we'll play on with Raiders possession off of that 3-point attempt from Hernandez. Schultz, a bounce pass into the wing. Another pass and some contact from behind. That's going to be yet another foul that Tartan has committed against McTagg, who has just drawn several fouls here in this one. They're really loving that sort of Russell Wilson deep pass there. Had a lot of success with that in this one, and they're going to send the elder McTagg to the line. Ashcraft checking into the game here for Hastings. McTagg 2 for 2 at the line. She has struggled a little bit tonight, but she's getting hot at the line here as of late. Stifling pressure there from the Raiders. They were threatening to steal the ball there from Annabelle, and will wisely get a timeout here from head coach Michael Morris, as Tartan is desperately in need of some sort of adjustment here. Well, if your clothes are in need of an adjustment, you certainly can go to the Spool House, who sponsors this one, from prom to weddings. Let us suit your formal wear needs. More information can be found at thespoolhouse.com. But the Raiders, who are down, I believe the largest lead here tonight was 11 points. They were down by 11 not that long ago in-game minutes. And they now have a 5-point lead. Just a totally different team coming out in the second half. We've just seen tremendous defense, which we certainly saw flashes of in the first half, but the rebounding, the shooting, the team basketball, they really have Tartan on the ropes here. So we'll see what Michael Morris can cook up here for Tartan. It's been quite the run here for Hastings, but when things were going well for the Titans, they were just knocking down three-point shot after three-point shot midway through the first half, but now we're approaching midway through the second half, and the tables have certainly turned here. And a turnover forced there by Oyasanmi. Sends it over to Hernandez, pumps up a shot. Difficult shot. Good make for Hernandez. Just north of 12 minutes to go here in regulation. It's like they're daring Brockman to take a three-point shot there, and we will get a whistle from the judge there at the baseline. And here's that last bucket from Hernandez, nearly blocked by a Raiders player, but making it look easy on that one. So that bucket from Hernandez makes it a one-score game. Ball tipped at the center court logo, but it's recovered by the offense. Three-point shot, too short there for Love. Now the Raiders working their way up court. Brockman's pass nearly intercepted. McTagg driving in. And it's uncanny the amount of fouls that these Raiders big men are drawing here tonight, specifically McTagg. Just driving through three Titans, and again, she'll get sent back to the line. That's going to be the fourth foul here against Tartan in the second half. And again, that's at least 3 consecutive makes for McTagg at the line, so she's really dialing it in. A lot of free points were left on the board in the first half, really from both teams, but particularly Hastings. But they have certainly found a way to dial this in here. Pass nearly stolen away, might have been tipped by Schultz, but we'll get the Titans on the attack. Certainly Morris wants a foul there, and I think we'll get a foul not on what should have been called a foul, maybe a makeup foul here, which they'll call against Brockman, which is always tough to see. So we'll have Schultz checking out of the game here for Hastings. Inbound into the corner, looking to shovel it off into the wind, driving them down the baseline, and that pass goes out of bounds off of the fingertips of Peyton Love. Hastings again in that familiar offense. We got two McTaggs on the court. Jessica McTagg checked in on that last sequence, and we will get a tie up a jump ball here. And it's going to go the way of Tartan. So Love out of the game. The Titans have really struggled with those open court passes here. The Raiders really just swooping in like a hawk, really all game, but especially in this second half. A pass into the post, turned over off of the hands of Brockman. The Titans looking to make this a one-score game. A tough shot as it takes an unfortunate rollout. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles here. We're just north of 10 minutes to go in regulation on this one. Ashcraft sends it over to Bauer to the near side wing for McTagg. A shot from the short corner just outside of the lane. No good here for Hastings. Oyasanmi kicks it out to Hernandez. In the short corner, trying to work in on Brockman. Has to send it out and stolen away by Jessica McTagg. Trying to go down the court, and she'll get the bucket and the foul. So what a infusion of effort from Jessica McTagg, the freshman coming off of the bench, doing everything here, defensively stealing the ball, getting the bucket, and of course drawing the foul, so a potential three-point play here for the Hastings Raiders as we get a couple of subs in here for Tartan. So just a great overall sequence here for Hastings. Unfortunately, they don't get that three-point play, but Tartan really trying to work their way back in this one, but Hastings sort of slamming the door in their face at times. That's certainly going to help them. A three-point shot from who else but Edisiri Oyasanmi. Brockman driving in. Felt it was a matchup she liked. We'll get an offensive rebound. Nearly lost the ball. Puts the shot up. And somehow the Raiders still hold on to that one. A three-point shot, no good. And a defensive rebound. It'll calm things down for the Titans. A very hectic sequence there for both sides. Now another three-point shot off of the front lip of the basket. They're really trying to ride Oyasanmi to get back into this one. A big collision will play on. Eventually we'll get a whistle there as Brockman was kicking out the pass. And here's that last sequence. Maybe looked worse than it did in real time. And here's that three-pointer from Oyasanmi. Very valuable to the Titans, looking to pick up this road win here. The Raiders player beats her man, pumps up a shot, gets her own offensive rebound. Out to Brockman near the wing. Now the far side driving in, tipped, catches her own rebound, and then a defensive rebound here for the Titans. So the Raiders are getting these first, second, and third chance opportunities on their last couple of possessions. They're not having a whole lot of luck with this as we'll get a foul called here against the Raiders. That's going to be on Brockman. It's going to be her third. Now the fourth foul for Hastings. So they had that nice sort of comfortable lead in terms of fouls, and they're starting to rack them up here in the last handful of minutes. We'll get a player checking in for Hastings. It's Lauren Wagner, the freshman. Love with the inbound. Maybe some sort of miscommunication or tipped or something. The fans cannot believe it. And it will be a foul on the play. It's going to go against Tartan. Annabelle, the junior, checking into this one for Tartan. Short shot, offensive rebound, and the bucket for Maya Bauer, who's really been the difference maker here in this second half for Hastings. Balloons the lead back to 6. Still plenty of time in this one. Love finds a lane, looking to pivot near the free throw line. Hernandez beats her defender, but we'll get the rebound taken by Jillian McTagg. Now Wagner with some court vision here. Love defending. Back to McTagg, sends it down low for Brockman. And it was denied, but it's going to be a foul on the play against Peyton Love, the junior. And here's that last bucket for Hastings from Maya Bauer. So Bauer, the sophomore, at the line, sinks her first. And we'll see why she was sent to the line here. This was the 8th foul committed against the Titans, and certainly Love cannot believe it. So now the Raiders, of course, make those 2 free throws, but now they're in the bonus with a pretty comfortable lead before maybe Tartan can think about getting into the bonus. Shot from the short corner, rims out. You can feel the momentum building here for the Raiders. Wagner driving in, stolen away, trying to run through a trio of players, but again, this Raiders defense just forcing turnovers. Bauer just can't quite put it in, but an offensive rebound saves the day here for Hastings from Wagner. Wagner to McTagg at the top of the key. A hard pass, and the assist to Violet Schultz on the bucket. And we will get a timeout called here by head coach Michael Morris for Tartan as we take a look at the last bucket here for Hastings. Brockman to Schultz on that bucket. So that's a 10-point lead here for Hastings as we turn our attention towards Hockey Day, Minnesota, obviously here in Hastings. Take a look at the schedule there. On the 24th, we got girls hockey, the Park Wolfpack versus the Hastings Raiders at 9:30. Boys hockey at 1 p.m., the East Ridge Raptors versus the Hastings Raiders. And then closing it out, we have boys hockey at 4:30. It's going to be the Rockridge Wolverines versus the rival St. Thomas Academy Cadets. So that's going to be a great one. Not going to want to miss that one. But, of course, it's not just that final day. It's a week-long celebration, if you will. It starts on the 17th with Premium Varsity Day. We have Rosemount versus Holy Angels as the capstone of that one at 7 p.m. But we also have Lakeville South taking on Maple Grove. In girls basketball, and Wyzetta versus Rogers. Rochester Century versus Mayo. So it's going to be a really fun week coming up here in Hastings, Minnesota. Certainly one that nobody's going to forget anytime soon. And there's a look at Angelina Funches, who I would have to imagine her night is probably over as she's icing up on the bench. Took that unfortunate sort of fall on her ankle earlier. She certainly was a big reason why the Tartans had such a lead in the first half, as that ball is going to careen out of bounds, going to stay here with Hastings. But I don't think that can be overstated. I think at the time Funches was out of the game, Tartan still might have had a lead. And a great block by Oyasanmi, but of course it's going to go right back to Hastings as that one flies out of bounds. But they certainly could use her offense right now. Inbound, a three-pointer. Good from the captain, Violet Schultz. Made a handful of ones here tonight, and that really cracks the game open here. A 13-point lead with 6 minutes to go here in this one. It's been a very competitive game here tonight, but it certainly has not been competitive at the same time. We have seen just massive runs by both teams back and forth, but it's certainly going the way of the blue and gold here as they're looking to close out this one. Maya Bauer spinning around. Certainly can milk the clock a little bit if you'd like to, as McTagg nearly loses hold of that one. Leos at the wing. Almost loses the ball. She'll drive in, puts up a shot. And that's going to send Leos to the line. They're going to call that a shooting foul, so that's going to be foul number 9 here against the Titans. Certainly that bailed Hastings out on that one. It was some pretty good defense from Tartan. The Raiders just couldn't find how to attack that defense. Couldn't find a lane. And they got bailed out there by a foul. So we'll have Hernandez checking into the game here for the Titans. An offensive rebound off of the free throw, and that one's just going to be whaled out of bounds off of McTagg. They said the Raiders were, they signaled that the Raiders were going to have possession here, so I think the Raiders are sort of confused. I think they thought that they had lost possession there, but it must have been off of the fingertips of a Titan. So off of the inbound, nobody was there. Smothering attack here from Hastings, fighting for the ball. Right in front of the bench, that one's tipped. And we will get a timeout called here by Rick Tavernier. Smart decision as the Raiders were trying to hold on to that one, but a lot of passes. So with that timeout, we'll look to take a break here. 5 minutes to go in this one. The Raiders lead 53-39 here on HCTV.
He gets the pin. What a move, what a goal! Oh, what a shot, scores! The Raiders, can they get the lift? Yes, they do.
Just snipes one.
Oh my God! And reaching up and making the play. It's moving! It's over!
Looking to throw, and she's going to get the first down.
Gone! Touchdown, Raiders!
So welcome back from this one. We're back. It's a 53-39 lead for the Raiders, who inbound the ball, and that's going to result in a tie-up. It's going to stay in the possession of the Raiders, so they'll get another crack at looking to get an inbound here. They connect to Jessica McTagg, back to Jill, driving in along the lane, some contact. And we will get a whistle. Somebody ran into Oyasanmi. Here's that inbound and last sequence. And a pretty heavy screen set there from McTagg. Jessica, to be more specific. We didn't see a lot of those two playing together in the first half, but in the second half where they've really cracked open this massive lead, we've seen them, and we're going to head right back to another timeout here. So, I mean, I guess you can't take them home with you. So after this one here for Hastings, if they can hold on to this lead here, they'll come back on Tuesday, and they'll take on the South St. Paul Packers on the road. Have a mini road trip. Next week they'll head over to Minneapolis to take on Minneapolis Camden. So a lot of non-conference, unfamiliar opponents that the Raiders will be taking on in the next couple of weeks before they get into some more familiar territory. It's a good Tartan team as well, but it looks like it might not end in the way they want to here tonight, but they're also going to go on a road trip to Minneapolis on Tuesday. They'll take on Minneapolis Washburn before closing out next Friday at North St. Paul. They have a lot of road games to finish the season. They have about 10 or 11 games remaining, and they have all but 2 home games as the Raiders are here at the line, sinking that first one. McTagg. These two teams will see each other in the second to last game of the season. It's going to be obviously at Tartan, a home and away, and this is the home for Hastings. But on the 17th of February, these two teams will see each other again, so that'll certainly be one to mark on your calendar. Two talented teams, two well-coached teams. They'll certainly have some familiarity with each other going into that second one, as we get a turnover off of a pass there from a Tartan guard. Another pass in the lane, kicks it out. 3-pointer off a back iron. And a whistle, another foul on the play. It's going to be the team's 5th foul here against Hastings. They are in the double bonus. We'll have a mass sub here for Hastings. Basically, we'll call it a line change here for Hastings, as they're going to sub out everybody. Annabelle at the top of the three-point line, and there's a three-pointer. Excuse me there for a special number 22 who we don't have on the roster. So now the Raiders still holding on to a 13-point lead here. We are in the shot clock era, but they certainly can take their time on offense. So we're pretty patient in the first half, as that one's going to bounce out of bounds. Still going to stay here with the Raiders. We'll get the inbound here from Kayla Geeson. Now Brockman hands it off. Geeson driving in and came in with a little bit too much mustard on that one. We got Love running over a player. And a whistle. We're going to get a travel called here against the Titans. Take a look at that last 3-point make here for the Titans. Really been the story of the game for the Titans. Really, they've lived or died by the 3-point shot. Allowed them to get that 11-point lead at one point in this one, but it's also resulted in them going sort of cold, and now a 15-point lead for Hastings following that bucket from Lauren Wagner. Just over 3 minutes to go here. Hernandez just looking for an open teammate. Now Annabelle, top of the key, hands it off to Hernandez. Working lower and lower, trying to get into that short corner. Gives it off for a teammate. A 3-point attempt from the wing. No good. Rebound taken there from Shiloh Ashcraft. Some tight defense there against Geeson. Leaves it out to Brockman in front of the bench. A cross-court pass. Connects over with Mace, who misses a layup. Gets right back on defense. Nearly takes a spill there. Nearly crossed over herself. Now Love working her way inside at the wing. Out for a teammate. Takes an open 3-point shot. Airballed. And recovered by Mace in front of the visitors' bench. A lot of movement, a lot of passes here for Hastings. Trapped there down low was Brockman, who kicks it out for Ashcraft. Takes a 3-point shot And turned over here for Tartan. We'll get another timeout. Can't take him home with you. We'll get another timeout here by Michael Morris as he'll look to talk it over here with his team. Just a 30-second timeout, trying to close out this one in appropriate fashion. So in all likelihood, this is going to be a win here for Hastings, barring a massive collapse. It's going to extend their win streak to 4 games. Also, lost in that Hockey Day promo, I forgot to mention that adapted floor hockey is also going to be a part of that week-long celebration. It's going to take place on the Wednesday the 21st. It'll be the first time ever that adapted floor hockey will be a part of those Hockey Day Minnesota festivities. So did not want to forget that one. That should be a good one. As we're back to action here, 90 seconds to go. Three-pointer, no good. Offensive rebound taken here by the mystery player, denied by the bottom of the backboard. Open three-pointer in front of the bench, airballed and taken by Paisley Grunsky, the freshman, checking into this one for the first time tonight. Some solid defense being played there from Clinton, not really allowing the Raiders to get anything inside the three-point line. Grunsky with the pass and the assist to Brooke Mace, senior captain for this team. And not much of a difference between the shot clock and the game clock. We'll get a three-point attempt, another one not falling here for the Titans. To the far side wing, cuts back in. Off for the 22 teammate. To Annabelle at the baseline. Another air ball here for the Titans, and the Raiders can just walk this one out. And so with that, the Raiders winning this one by a score of 59-42. A hard-fought battle, two very evenly matched teams right in the middle of that Metro East Conference. And just really a tale of two halves. You saw the Titans come out on the road looking to get the victory, played ferociously in that first half, and then you saw the halftime adjustments made by Coach Rick Tavernier and this Raiders team led by Maya Bauer. And they really turned on the afterburners here in the second half, from down 11 to up 17. A 28-point swing for the Hastings Raiders as they'll advance to 8-7 on the season. So we'll take a look at the upcoming broadcasts here. On the 20th, we got boys hockey versus Waconia. The next day, we have Dakota United Hawks. That'll be a doubleheader before we come back on the 27th for girls basketball versus Matamidi. And we'll close out the month on the 29th, girls wrestling triangular here on HCTV Sports. So we're right in the swing of things here. The Raiders winning this one by a score of 59-42. Special shout out to producer and director Hunter Pinkey, camera operators Max Slocum and Ian Andrusak, and Hunter on graphics and replay as well. For HCTV, I'm Owen Ely. The Raiders winning this one 59-42 here from Hastings High School.